Pretty fun nightcap last night between the Spurs and the Blazers. Fun for multiple reasons. One being we got to watch Wemby's playoff debut, and he delivered. Gave you 35 points, 5 of 6 from 3. Made JP put some expletives in the yapping group chat because he has like Curry-esque movement 3 from the corner. He has a play where he goes coast to coast, which includes a behind the back and then gets into the paint and then spins off and dunks it. Just stuff like that. It's all dropping every time. He was great, and the Spurs players did a pretty good job of playing the roles around him in a lot of their first, playoff action for some young guys.
Yeah, it was first playoff experience for Devin Vassell, Stephon
Vassell,
Castle,
but yeah.
Vassell. I always get it.
Well, to
Vassell
be fair,
and Castle.
80% of the announcers
Fair.
say Vassell.
Oh.
So, like, if you're watching
I did not
Spurs
know
games,
that.
like, 80% is strong. But there's a lot because it's Stephon Castle,
Yeah,
they just want to go Vassell.
yeah.
And that's just not true.
Devin Vassell.
But you probably have heard his name pronounced by Vassell by a theoretically reputable source.
The
Yeah,
Vassell and Castle, that's a fair shot right
Yeah.
there.
But Castle, it's his first experience. Vassell's his first
Cassell.
experience.
Cassell. Sam Cassell.
Yeah.
Fox had the one tournament or the one series against the Warriors like 3 years ago.
Yep. King of the fourth quarter, De'Aaron Fox.
Former Clutch Player of the Year.
Champagny, where did
First.
So 4 out of your 5 starters were getting their first playoff experience. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you build a team like through the draft and are bad, and now you're good.
Well, yeah, we got the grizzled vets off the bench holding it down, and Harrison Barnes and Luke Cornett.
Yeah.
they get they get the job done.
Which, what a treat to see Luke Cornett and Matisse Thybulle square off in the playoffs for the first time. That wasn't just a made-up stat. I actually went back and researched it because I was like, Cornett, Celtic, Thybulle, 76er, surely they clashed in the playoffs. They were never on the same team at the same time
Sure.
in any of those series between the Sixers and Celtics. So this was the first time I got to see that.
Yeah.
Which that was, of course, really cool. I love that the chat really liked that one, too. I think two stats. Dylan Harper plus 18 in his 23 minutes.
Yep.
Crazy. And Jerami Grant minus 25 in his 19 minutes.
Yeah, Grant's interesting because
Shocking.
he had the stat where like he hadn't played a game in April in like 4 years,
Yeah.
and then since they made the playoffs, now he's playing in April. And he did not deliver in his first April basketball in a long time. I do want to say for the Blazers, I thought they were very feisty and put up a good fight. And while I in no way think they have a chance of winning this series, I'm going to knock on wood as a Spurs fan. I think there's a lot to love going forward in terms of like, hey, Deni Avdija has shown that he can play in the playoffs. One game, but like he was even good in the play-in game. And he seems he's getting to a point where it's a little bit like game plan proof in terms of like, oh, he wants to drive right. He loves to get downhill, so we're going to sit on his right hand. But he's like slowly developing like step-back jumpers going to the left and stuff like that, and he was knocking those down last night. Scoot is a little beleaguered as a prospect at this point, but he looked pretty good in moments last night. Klingen's still a young center who didn't have the best night, but like you're playing against Wemby as a growing big man. Like they're feisty, and they're feisty this year, but I do think they're a core that can get better and better as they move forward. And once again, I mean, Deni dropped 30 in his playoff debut. So speaking of playoff debuts, Wemby's was great. His wasn't really too far behind.
Yeah, another Wizard that is having their best days away from the Wizards, and Deni Avdija.
Who's the last? I guess like the last good Wizard, or like, either good Wizard or player that was good, even if they weren't good on the Wizard, that had their best days on the Wizards is probably Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, and then it's John Wall.
Yeah, but even think about like someone like Davis Bertans, who was great on the Spurs as a knockdown shooter. Wizards signed him to a fairly hefty contract, and he potatoes. It's pretty common for people to potato on the Wizards, so it is nice to see him flourish. He's a fun player to watch.
Yeah, I really just have to go back to that entire group of Wizards teams that made the playoffs a few years in a row. Like the Nene and Marcin Gortat were best as Wizards, in my opinion.
Shout out Gortat, man. What a screener.
The Gortat screen.
Yep. Speaking of that Wizards team, and I think kind of their height was losing to the Kelly Olynyk game in Game 7 against the Celtics. Did you see what
Yes.
Kelly Olynyk was wearing last night in terms of socks?
Yes, ankle socks.
Yeah.
No-show socks, I guess?
Basically what I'm wearing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know my sock terminology, I won't lie, but They
Well,
were below
Sanders,
his
you
ankle.
wear like the no-show socks,
Are
right?
they no-
Yeah, I wear.
Ankle?
Those are not no show.
Yeah, these aren't no show, but this is kind of
Those
what he was
probably
wearing.
those
ankle?
are like ankle socks.
Okay,
Okay.
he was rocking ankle socks with his basketball shoes, which is a crime.
After gifting all the Spurs the black suits,
Which
like,
were cool.
they were all cool. They all showed up cool, and then he wears ankle socks.
I will say happy birthday, Kelly Oubre. Your birthday was yesterday. But like, still can't give you a pass for wearing those socks on NBA basketball court.
Are those got to be Nuggets alumni cheerleaders? I
Yeah.
hope. I
Yeah.
hope we don't have their grandmas doing a cheerleading dance on the Denver Nuggets court right now. They can. I couldn't read the shirt. I couldn't tell if they're alumni. I want to talk about Victor Wembanyama.
Sure.
I would say I'm kind of speechless at this point. Speechless by his play. Speechless, and now I'm going to go on a nice monologue here. Speechless by his play. It's been a running theme for now 3 years, where it's every single night there's a clip that's just like, Jesus Christ, no way. He just did that. He just pulled up from the logo, made it.
Yeah.
Last night it was the falling away three in the corner to his left, which was Steph Curry-esque or any great shooter-esque. It was it's perfect swish too, unbelievable. Also the coast-to-coast play that you mentioned.
The Sizzlin' Seniors is what we were just
I'm
witnessing.
really sorry to interrupt your monologue,
No,
but
I
I just
just-
can't believe they're called the Sizzling
That's what the shirt
Seniors.
said. That's
Yep.
what it said. I just couldn't read it.
Oh,
It had
man.
some like glitter all over it.
Bedazzle.
So
It's
his
bedazzled.
play is phenomenal. His defense is just otherworldly at 7'4", and he just has that like sixth sense. He's a great defender. You just know it. He just knows when to be in the right spot. He reminds me a lot like, not that he's gonna. It's just a weird comparison, but Cooper Flagg kind of looked like last year in college. It's just like, okay, this guy is a phenomenal defender.
Yeah.
He's the best defender in college basketball. Victor is just the best defender on the planet, period, at 7'4". And if he was 6'10", he would still be one of the best defenders in the NBA. He is that good. So to see that, his play on the court is phenomenal. And now I'm seeing, as we're getting more and more of it, and we will get it more and more throughout the postseason, his character is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was asked last night, and it was I couldn't figure out if it was pregame conference or postgame conference. I'm pretty sure it was postgame conference. He was asked, "Do you feel any pressure or weight living up to Spurs greats, big men, David Robinson and Tim Duncan?" And he said, "I wouldn't say weight, no. I would say I feel safe. It feels like if you trip, there's a lot of hands that are ready to catch you." And for him to speak at a level like that, at the age he is, 23?
22.
22? Jesus.
Younger than me.
Uh,
And you.
and this is unbelievable.
And-
He's no troll, 1 day older than me.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So you got Wemby. You can become the next Wemby.
Yeah.
You got a chance.
There's still time.
Yeah, you're still younger than he is.
So for him to be A-plus character, it clearly shows he's kind of already an A-plus leader when you have answers like that to when you compare those answers to other guys' answers at 22, 23.
Yeah.
Ant is, not wanting to drink the Gatorade. LaMelo Ball in his post-game press conferences were just like, okay, you could clearly tell this kid just isn't very smart. Like he's just a baller. He's just a hooper.
Yeah.
Wemby, you can tell he's unbelievably intelligent. So
It's that reading he does before every game. I don't know if you've seen that clip
I
at
have
the
not
All-Star
seen that
game
clip.
where Jokic is like just in disbelief that Wemby has a book and is like just, I'm not gonna say like embarrassed, but just so like.
Did he
Just
have a
like,
book
that's
like LeBron
crazy.
had a book?
No,
or?
like he actually reads before every game. He's a guy that like reads before every game. He's like, oh, I'm in bed by 9:30, trying to be asleep, by 10, stuff like that. It is really special. His character's really good, and a lot of that is, I will say, like, it's him, but also that Spurs culture.
Yeah.
That he is not wrong that those legends are there to catch him if he falls. They were both at the game last night. They both had their Fiesta shirts on.
Mhm.
the camera showed them a ton. But he is just truly a joy to have on your favorite team, and it is, you're 100% correct. It's because of the plays on the court, but also what he brings off the court, and even just like, trying to make his own fan group and like trying to, which that sounds prideful, but like because he wants to make the arena a feared arena and he wants the atmosphere to be better. He cares about the community. All that stuff is just, it's pretty special. It is crazy. This is a bit of an aside. He's now the 4th Spur to win a Defensive Player of the Year, which is the most of any franchise ever. Tim Duncan never won a Defensive Player of the Year, which is like just kind of wild. Like in my head, I know he hasn't won one, but also in my head, it's like he was such a good defender. You kind of think he does.
Kawhi, George Gervin.
It wasn't Gervin. I don't know who
Gervin?
the 4th was.
Okay. David Robinson, Wemby.
It was like a George Gervin era Spur.
Okay.
But yeah, you would kind of expect Tim Duncan to be the 4th, and it wasn't. But he is a treat, and I can't wait to watch. And it's clear, and even like he talks about it. I mean, he had an interview last night where he was like, or I guess it was today because he just won the Defensive Player of the Year. But they're like, that's your first of many. Like, how's it feel? Like you have a relationship with Hakeem. Like,
Yeah.
your name is now on an award that has Hakeem's name on it. And Wemby was like smiling, and they like asked why he was smiling. He's like, oh, I'm smiling because like last time when I was at Hakeem's house, he has a plaque, and it's like, it's the plaque basically says like all-time NBA leader in blocks, and Hakeem like basically like looks at Wemby and is like, hey, that plaque's gonna be yours one day. And it's like really lofty expectations, right? But it's very clear he has a goal for himself and a goal for his team, and he does everything within his power to put himself in a position to succeed. And I just can't wait to keep watching.
Yeah, I say all that to say, and I mean to be hyperbolic here, I think we might be watching the GOAT right now at 22. It feels that way. We'll see how his playoff success goes, because that is what determines a GOAT, at least in this era of the sport. So
he's on the best trajectory of anyone since LeBron.
Yeah.
So he legit is an already rarefied air in terms of a trajectory standpoint. Yes, there are years and years and so many things to still do, but you can't start it off much better.
Counterpoint, he beat the Trailblazers in Game 1. Snooze fest,
Yeah,
Finished 5th on his team in plus minus.
Yeah, no good feeling.
What kind of leader is
actually
that?
very good. Yeah.
What kind of leader is that?
Turned the ball over multiple times.
Yeah. Missed a free throw. Can't do that. 3 points.
Let Denny Advia score 30 points.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Great point.
It was definitely him letting that happen.
Crazy he shot better from 3 than he did from free throw line.
Dude, he just like was on a heater from 3 last night, and I felt really bad for Donovan Clingan, not gonna lie. Cause Donovan Clingan is like not trying to get blown by, and so he's sagging back.
Which is
and
crazy
Wemby
that
just
Wemby can
pulls.
do that.
Yeah, I mean Wemby's pulled off a sham god before, so like he's got whatever he wants. I could talk about Wemby for 20 minutes, but we'll move on. And then that's the last NBA playoff game, unless you have anything else you want to add.
The only thing was the Trailblazers, if they want to get back in this series, which who knows, it's the Spurs' first playoff appearance. You know, just like it is for the Blazers. Anything
Goofy
could
things
happen.
can happen.
Scoot Henderson said post game, and I agree with him. I'm not going to say his quote, but the Blazers they got to get more physical with Wemby.
Yeah,
they might not have the players to do that, because Donovan Clingan is just not going to be very. I joke, of course, physically imposing on Wemby, but it also may be too early for physicality to like have a wear and tear on Wemby. You may have to wait for the second round or third round. But Scoot was saying in the post game, like, we got to hit him more when he's rolling to the basket. Like, just give him a little nudge, give him a little elbow, hit him when he's screening a little hard. Give him instead of like going shoulder into him on a screen, let's give him a little elbow as he's setting the screen on me. Which Wemby doesn't really set screens. He just kind of gets in the area, never makes contact, and then kind of fades off.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard to do. They may have to like actually just run through him. But they're gonna have to get more physical with him to slow him down and keep him from having such an offensive output and defensive output.
That's a great point by
If
Scoot.
if he's going to
Great
score
point by you.
35 and then already be that good at the rim, you're toast.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. They really weren't, and they were really bad in terms of like just letting them roll unfettered to the rim. So I actually do want to ask one more thing. This is not a part of the game, but have you seen the stuff about the Blazers owner? Like, he's just a biggest like he's such a cheapskate of an owner.
Yes, yeah. That he
And
didn't
it's
fly the
crazy.
two-way guys out
Didn't
there,
fly
whatever.
the two-way guys. They're not having shirts at their playoff game. He is apparently only they got a coaching search going on because Chauncey Billups decided he wanted to play some illegal poker, and like they're only planning on offering $1 million to $1.5 million per year as their coaching salary, which would be like bottom of the league basically, and you're just not putting yourself in a position to get be competitive in the coaching market with those kind of numbers. Really strange, and honestly pretty sucks. I just talked about how fun some of the players are on this team, but that could end up hurting them down the line because like he's probably not going to pay the tax, for example, if it comes to that.